Welcome to Lineups and Lures. Join hosts Joe and Chris as they break down the biggest stories in professional and amateur sports and reel in the best fishing stories and tips. Whether it's game day strategy or the perfect catch, we've got you covered. Grab your gear and get ready. This is Lineups and Lures. Welcome back to another episode of Lineups and Lures. We just got off the airplane coming back from Omaha, Nebraska.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty special episode. There's lots to talk about. There's a lot of stories to tell. Saw some things that we had no idea we were going to see. Saw history made. Got to see some sights around Omaha, some fantastic baseball, and some of the best people watching I've seen in quite some time.
Absolutely. So, what was your favorite thing? This is the first time you've been to the College World Series, Omaha. What really stood out to you outside of the baseball piece?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. The atmosphere around the stadium was fantastic. And one of the things that I would like to commend Omaha, CWS, everybody involved was the friendly nature of everybody. People were having fun, getting after it, doing all the things, but I did not see one pushing and shoving event. I didn't see anybody get taken out of the stadium. I didn't see one altercation between fans, including at the LSU-Arkansas game, which we'll get back to in a moment here. So I just think the general people were there to watch baseball, root for their team, and a little friendly. I only really saw one instance of some friendly banter, which wasn't so friendly, and we'll get to that later. But the general nature of everybody was happy, friendly, hospitable, always wanted to help you find where you were going. So I would just say that was the thing that surprised me the most.
The most contentious part of Omaha is the Jello shot challenge. I mean, those people are getting after it. That's the contentious part.
Well, I know you're saying that somewhat tongue-in-cheek, but
I am not. Man, how many times did we walk by Roscoe's and there was people lined out the door, the LSU trumpet blaring, chanting constantly. True. You know, even Skeens and Livy Dunn made an appearance there yesterday to sell some.
You had to burn that early. Okay, no, edit that out. We're not going to burn that early. Way to ruin the whole podcast. That was meant to be something down the line. You had to go and throw that in there.
Because nobody knew that they were at the games.
Well, anyway, I think there is definitely a geographical factor that factors into the Jello Shot Challenge. Those that can drive to Omaha from their respective hometowns definitely have an advantage. That said, it's one of those idiotic traditions that's awesome in its own way, probably not going anywhere anytime soon, and unfortunately, we never got into Rocco's because we didn't want to wait an hour to get in there.
Yeah, it would have taken way too long. It's just kind of a badge of honor for those LSU fans.
I think so.
I honestly think they might just have an LSU category as the 9th team at the World Series for that off year they don't make it. And they'll probably still win because those LSU fans travel like crazy.
And I got to tell you, if I wasn't such a Beaver believer, that might be a fun party to jump onto because they get after it and they are always having a good time.
Yeah, I mean, we had early lunch yesterday before the first game, and they were already getting after it at all the bars and restaurants.
Getting after it.
And then we had dinner at the rain delay after the rain delay last night, and there was a fan who had definitely been getting after it all day long.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be his head this morning. I think there's a little man with a hammer going tink, 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 tink. But yeah.
You're right. I mean, the fans, the people of Omaha, the people that travel, it's just... Like you said, everyone's there to watch baseball. Mm-hmm. Everyone's there to cheer on their team. It's a very happy environment, even though there's definitely a lot of alcohol being consumed. And it's 90 degrees. It's humid. You're drenched in sweat all day long, and people are in a great mood. They're courteous to each other. It's kind of a cool thing to see people coming from all parts of the country and just being there for baseball. And I think that's what makes the College World Series so special is. You don't find anything else like that.
Yeah, and I would like to use the word, for the most part, educated fan bases. They knew their baseball. And
are you counting the LSU and Arkansas fans in that?
Well, there's still some people that knew what they were talking about. I mean, they talk funny and they're really loud, but everybody was, there was a lot of true baseball fans. I know there's going to be a little bit of corporate and everything, as we saw with, Calipari coming out the other night. And, as you've alluded to, a few other alumni were floating around. But the one thing that I was impressed was, especially during the day games, you saw a lot of guys getting after early innings, but come the fifth inning onwards, there was a lot of guys going back for a bottle of water, and people were pretty much going, okay, let's not be stumbling out of here. And I think, like I said, everybody's having a good time, but well behaved, great event.
Yeah, it's awesome. And 2 games a day, every day. That environment of just walking into the stadium, there's just a buzz for every single game. It's not like a normal tournament where it's just like, oh, we're just going to play. Like, every game mattered, every inning mattered, every pitch matters. That's the beauty of college baseball. That's why I like college baseball.
Yeah, and just as we determined, other than the game that just wrapped up a few moments ago, for the most part, every game in the 7th, 8th, 9th inning, even if the final might have been a 4-run lead, the Oregon State game, classic example, we had traffic on the bases. You have a long ball and it's a 1-run game, and before you know it, we go back to Goss 3 Friday nights ago. So every game basically came down to the 8th and 9th inning. We saw what happened to Arizona in that game, where they looked to be cruising against Louisville, absolutely cruising the whole game. Louisville sneaks one in the 6th, makes it 3-2, and then we just had a complete, throw-up situation in the 8th inning.
That was a meltdown.
That was a complete throw-up situation. So, fantastic baseball.
Yeah, the other fun part about this weekend was Murray State. Having that Cinderella team there, and I got to tell you, they traveled well. And that crowd base was into it, and they were loud. That's cool to see. There's always going to be the powerhouses like an LSU or an Arkansas, UCLA, Oregon State. But, having that smaller school in there just kind of made for a really cool storyline. It sucks the way their season ended, but that's the difference between the powerhouses and non-powerhouses.
Well, and I think you mentioned the travel. I think when you've got a team that, quite frankly, if they didn't come back to Omaha for 20 plus years, it's not surprising anybody. Hell, they may never come back. That's one of those ones where there's probably people that have been hanging around that program maybe their whole life in some states, and they were just like, this may never happen again. Let's go do it.
Yeah, got to do it.
Got to do it. And honestly, they were very well-behaved fans. They were cheering on their people. I think they kind of knew that they were outmatched and they were the David, not the Goliath. But what a great story. What a great opportunity for those kids, those families, those people that have been around that program for decades. They got rewarded, and just to be able to walk in the door. I don't know any college baseball player that wouldn't love to say, I got to go to Omaha.
This summer, level up your game at Portland Baseball Club's summer camps. Every Tuesday and Thursday, join us from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. for skill-building sessions in pitching, hitting, fielding, and more. At just $60 per day, you'll get expert coaching and personalized instruction in a fun and competitive environment. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting out, Portland Baseball Club summer camps are perfect for all skill levels. Spots will fill up fast. Register today at portlandbaseballclub.com. We got to witness history at the College World Series.
We did.
We got to see in person a no-hitter.
First time since 1960.
Fourth time overall? Third time overall?
I didn't check that one as closely, but and kind of a unique way we kind of stumbled into this, because for the first time, the first couple of days we went, we were always, we'll go to game 1, go get something to eat between game 2, but that we never had time for that because the games kind of went so long, and with the situation of trying to find something to eat close was impossible an hour before game time. So it was either walk for 20 minutes, and then by the time you meet, it was never going to happen. So we actually just decided to go and get lunch, a proper lunch for the game. So we showed up, top 4?
Yeah,
bottom 3, top 4.
Fourth inning.
And we hadn't walked around the outfield mezzanine yet. And we just kind of took our time and checked out some of the concession stands, checked out a couple of sight lines for viewing. And I know I looked up at the scoreboard, and you kind of made a comment, a lot of zeros up there. And then we kind of meandered our way around from right field. We came in the right field entrance, meandered our way all the way over to right field. Took about an inning and a half to do that. We were in no hurry. We'd stop, watch a pitch, move, go check something out. Then it was 95 degrees and 98% humidity, so it was time to find some shade. So we got
just time to sit down.
And time to sit down.
So we ended up kind of wandering around, scoped out some seats, walked over and stole a nice little 20th row, 15th row seat. We were in the shade in about 10 minutes, so it was perfect.
And I remember, I looked up at the board, and it's the 6th now, and I still see a bunch of zeros. So I jump on ESPN's app and I pull up the score, and I'm like, okay, box score. Are there any base on balls? And I just kind of rotated the phone over to you, and I said, "You see what's not there?" And you're like, "Mm-hmm." And off we went.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. And unfortunately, he hit a guy with a back foot slider in the 8th to break up the perfect game, which, I don't think he threw more than maybe 10 sliders the entire game. I mean, that was a heavy fastball, which, hey, when you throw 97, 98 miles an hour against a team that is clearly overmatched on that pitch, just keep throwing it out there.
Although he did get away with one in the 8th as well. That was a questionable hit by pitch.
Whatever.
I think one of the things that people might want to look out for with the kid Wood, do you realize in the 9th inning, he nearly had an immaculate inning?
Did he really?
Yeah. He struck out all 3, and I think he only threw 1 ball.
Okay.
And his last pitch of the day, pitch 116 to strike out the last hitter, was at 97 miles an hour.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That was with the Murray State fans sitting right in front of us, trying to hex the crap out of this thing.
So that's the one that I brought up earlier. And what was it? Top 7, maybe?
Top 7. This dude just starts turning around. We were sitting on the Arkansas side. Mm-hmm. Starts turning around and just yelling at, "Hey, there's a no-hitter going on. I don't think he has a base runner. I think this might be a perfect game."
And he'd had a few libations, and I got to tell you, I think any baseball person rooting for or against knows just to shut up on that one. I personally didn't think it was appropriate, and then again, not my fight, nothing that I was getting in the middle of. But
I thought the first time he said it was kind of funny, but when he kept saying it for 2 minutes and then did it for 3 straight innings, it's like, all right, man, that's cool. We get the point.
He was probably pretty close to getting a talking to from a couple of Arkansas fans there. There were a couple of big dudes in the row just in front of him that were kind of snapping their head around going, "All right, that's enough, pal."
I don't know. There was that old boy sitting in front of him, and he was chuckling pretty good.
Well,
I think he probably just knew that they can't hit 97, so as long as he keeps throwing strikes, it's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, if he wouldn't have thrown the damn slider, he might have a perfect game.
Yeah, and that barely got him in the back foot.
Yeah.
Way to stay in there and take one, though. Break up the perfecto.
Well, I don't think he was trying to do that. I think it just hit him. He was probably looking fastball and went, "Oh, look at this thing. It's breaking down and in at me."
Yeah. So have you ever seen a professional no-hitter in person?
Ooh.
I've seen a lot of amateur ones. I've seen 5-inning no-hitters. I've seen 7 innings.
No, it's got to be 9-inning no-hitter to be a no-hitter.
But I've never been to a no-hitter or a perfect game at the college or professional level.
Yes, you have.
Which one?
I caught one.
What year was that? Was that Pete?
It was.
That was a no-hitter.
That was a no-hitter. It was not. There was a couple walks in there. No, it was a no-hitter.
Who'd we no-hit?
Oh, it was a team down in California.
Like Bethany or Simpson?
No, it wasn't that bad. I think it was maybe an Occidental or something like that.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and look. I don't remember.
So you've caught a perfect game or a no-hitter.
I have caught a no-hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I saw I don't know if I've witnessed another one except from the best seat in the house. Well, I saw one yesterday.
And we had pretty good seats.
Pretty good seats, but my seat was better for the other one.
It was. You were involved in the game.
Hey there, I'm Chad with Jackson Painting and Remodel, and if you're looking to give your home a fresh new look, you've come to the right place. Whether you need a bold new color for your living room or a fresh coat to brighten up your home's exterior, my team and I have got you covered. We specialize in both indoor and outdoor painting, using only the best materials to make sure your space looks amazing and stands the test of time. If you're ready to transform your home, visit jacksonpainting.com. I'd love to come by, chat about your ideas, and give you a free estimate. At Jackson Painting and Remodel, we don't just paint, we make your vision a reality. Again, visit jacksonpainting.com or call 503-620-2600.
Speaking of good seats for a baseball game, we had excellent seats to last night's LSU UCLA game.
We did. We
5 rows back, right behind the on-deck circle on the third base side. Pretty unobstructed view most of the game.
Yeah, and we paid nowhere near what the other people around us paid. We waited until literally half an hour before first pitch, and they showed up, and we just happened to be on SeatGeek and StubHub at the right time and said, because we were looking way down the lines at first and third, and these popped up, and we just happened to find them, so we took them.
We took them. It's fun to be that close to the field, and you could actually hear, kind of what the coaches are saying. You could hear the third base coaches. You could kind of see some of the chatter in the on-deck circles. I really like that stuff because I get to see those guys go through their processes. So you can see them in the hole, in the dugout, talking to the coaches, getting their game plans ready, heading into the on-deck circle. I just think it's really cool to see how these elite-level athletes go about their business.
Yeah, and to kind of extrapolate on that a little bit, for those that haven't been, I didn't realize how much foul territory is actually at that stadium. I mean, it is cavernous. I mean, Joe and I were joking that our seat at Goss on the third base line is equivalent of where the dugout is. I mean, that's how far away you are from the action. So that's one of the things that by getting up close, you were still, compared to what we're used to, relatively far away. So you can only imagine when you're sitting 15, 20, 30 rows up, which normally at a major league ballpark is a phenomenal seat, is like sitting 50 rows back. So, and that's just the design of the stadium. I mean, it's a lovely place. I'm not, it is what it is. But actually for a while, unfortunately, our experience got cut a little short by Mother Nature, but
we got to see a show of a different variety.
Well, different variety. Mother Nature wins every time. But I think that seat was awesome, as was our seat for the Beavs was great, and our seat for LSU Arkansas first night, Saturday night was amazing, and there was a special guest that showed up right in front of us that night that, quite frankly, was very annoying.
It was very annoying.
Because apparently 12, were they even 12, 8, 10 years old kids?
I would say they were probably in that 12 to 13-year-old range.
But they were getting spurred on by their mothers.
Yes.
So we literally there was a group of probably 8 to 10 kids sitting in the row, and then all the moms were sitting in the row behind them. And for literally 4 innings, every half inning, they would run down screaming at Livy, trying to get an autograph. And I will say, I certainly would not mess with her security guard because
Which one?
Well, the one who was standing right behind her, he would pretty much take on just about anybody in the world. And he definitely had a few friends in that little fanny pack up front that he was wearing.
Yes.
He was, quite frankly, he was amazing because he took care of it before it became a problem. But it was a distraction. Honestly, the kids were getting in the way of us watching the game. Kind of would have liked the mums to have shut that down, but they did end up getting their autograph, so I guess it worked.
They did. I mean, it just seemed like there was every single between inning, there was a parade of kids running down, trying to get down all the way to the bottom, and every inning, the security guards would just wave them off, like, nope, you got to go. And it was the same kids constantly. And then they started trying to go down the other aisle. Same thing, getting shooed off.
And I believe you recognized a couple of influences that were trying to get down there as well.
Yeah, I believe Baby Gronk was down there trying to get a picture as well. I know there's some other guys from D1 baseball that were down in that area. I mean, it was a very popular area.
It was a very popular area.
I got to be honest, we were just trying to watch a baseball game.
We were just trying to watch a baseball game. But, hey, that's what happens. And at the end of the day, that game was, getting back to baseball here, that game was amazing. The guy from LSU that threw that night threw an absolute gem. You want to talk about two rabid fan bases. Watching them go toe-to-toe all night was fantastic. Great experience.
enjoyed Lineups and Lures, like, share, and rate the show to help us grow. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Thanks for listening, and catch you next time on Lineups and Lures.